Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, so outside the High Claris Tower, days south of Palanthus, the makeshift camp has been erected while the party waits for the cargo shipment to be collected. Uruz led his large warhorse towards the cart in camp and where his companions rested. The rain had recently started to fall in the distance, and the roll of thunder echoed across the landscape. With each breath, a gust of steam blew from his nostrils. With each breath, a gust of steam blew from his nostrils. He remained silent, but inside his heart burned. I can deal with people insulting my kin. I know they have been troubled for years. Why must they insult my friends? Where are we here to help? When we are here to help, they're good folk, though they seem rough at the edges. Uruz thought to himself. With his strong hands, Uruz unloaded the uh, basilisk heads from his horse and placed them into the wagon. He brushed his large hand down the mane of his mount and spoke. Rest up, friend. I'm sure we'll be moving by dawn, he said with a small smile before getting his stoic appearance once again. Uruz marched towards the rest. His fur had become soaked in the rain, and his chainmail rattled as the pieces of armor splashed from the impact of the precipitation. Guess we're in for a wet night, he grumbled. As the rain water covered Philip's white tunic and the leather armor that sits beneath it becomes visible, the scratches and marks from the few battles the group have been in show in the armor. With his face of misery, with his hair starting to slick to his face, he sighs. You know, every interaction since the Lord Knight, I've started to like the Knights of Salamnia less and less. Kor racks their brain for a solution to protect from the torrential rain, brightening when she discovers a way. She plants her hands into the soil, feeling the thick, damp earth move beneath her fingertips. Closing her eyes and channeling the powers of the earth itself, she breathes slowly. She feels the trees above her stretch, their bark creaking as their leafy fingertips extend outwards to catch the rain. It's not a perfect rain catcher, but being less wet is definitely better than being drenched for the evening. Finally opening, no, excuse me, finally opening her eyes, she glances up at the darkened canopy, the trees enriched with druidic magic as they expand, proving more and more cover for her allies to rest under. Satisfied, she pulls out an old rag from her pouch and begins to dry herself off. Like Oak always said, it's best to stay away from the dark and the cold. She folds her legs under her and sighs. Adventuring is rough work, she thought. She never knew what her daffodil saw in it, but it was all Daffodil ever wanted, for them to explore the world and experience it like no one has before. What she wanted bartered away for a good night's rest in her glade. But it but it was a promise she made before Daffodil left, and she never was one to break promises. She gazed at her allies and sighs, a perpetually smile on her lips. She pulls out her notebook and, straining with her eyes in the twilight, she begins to write. Uruz stood listening to Philip, rattled his brain for thinking of both sides of the encounters they had with the Islamic Knights. They were once held high in their roles of society and were key figures. Now the world had basically been turned upside down and they're forced into war. And with a heavy sigh, Uruz drew breath to speak before noticing the rain had slowed. The trees overhead had gave cover for them with the mystical shelter. How wondrous are these powers his friends held, he thought. Thank you, Kor. I might be able to dry myself now, Uruz said with an approving nod, before shaking his broad body of any clinging water. Like you, Philip, I grow tired of their judgment. Though I have always been on the foul side of most, I do not like how they treat you all. You're all good folk, or at least trying, Uruz said while undoing the belt and began releasing his soaked chainmail coat. Squeaking at the mention of her name, Kor awkwardly grins, tight lips smiled, nods back to the Minotaur, and curls in on herself, clenching her pencil nervously. Dear Slog, I don't know how much more of the road I can take. The wanderlust is very much alive in me, but the more I journey, the more I find the world has been dipped into a nightmare than the dream that I was promised. The world was supposed to be beautiful, magical even. That is what the little narcissist bloom promised me. Instead, it exists in this perpetual state of gloom and weariness, its eyes shadowed by a growing tiredness and weariness. Like a world that refuses to sleep dream a little. Its people are tired. There's very little color in this world, not even wild blooms that would cheerfully greet you. The world is an expanse of concrete that seems hell bent on choking out little life that managed to seep through the cracks. It is why I admire people that manage to bring a splash of color to it. She gazed quietly at her allies. The red of blood, the pinks of laughter, and the touch of sunshine smiles The orange of warmth, the green of friendship, the blues of rain pouring down above us, the white of pride. They, they bring color to a gray world. How I wish to be able to bring color like them, yet all I can do is dream. With a groan louder than most, Uruz pulled his coat free and folded the chain link armor over his thick forearm. With a long stretch, he shifted his aching muscles and let them relax before pressing forward, sinking his hoofs into the wet soil. Outside of combat, Uruz moved slow and methodically. No need to rush, but everything was done with discipline. In the slow march, Uruz went and sat down next to Kor. He didn't look at what she was doing, as he knew she often wrote things. You know, there's little need for your nerves to eat at you. It is bad for the body and the mind, Uruz said while looking ahead. He fiddled with the horn pendant that hung from his neck. What are you writing about? He asked while removing some of the roots from his travel rations and offering Kor a piece to chew on. Cora started from her musings with a gasp, gazing up at the source of the voice with the wide eyes. She meekly pursed her lips into a smile and hastily folded away her notebook, and the other hand graciously accepting the root. Thank you, she pauses. Pay me no heed. I simply recording our travels in my log. There's someone very interested in stories and like to share ours with them. Someone back home, Uruz ran his finger under his neck and scratched the fur that hung from his skin. His deep ruby eyes glanced over to her, seeing the book tucked away. I'm afraid I'm after making stories of my own, you know. Hopefully my deeds will be voiced along these lands far and wide. By my horns, I will take the bitter taste of the name Minotaur out of everyone's mouth, and we will be known as the great folk we truly are, Uru said loudly and proudly. He knew in his mind that one day he would change the minds of many, one way or another. If I can earn the title, the Red Minotaur, I could do this, he said, starting to let his mind wander off in the idea of being his people's champion. Someone long gone, Cor replies, a distant look fogging over her bright eyes, lifting instantly as she hears the pride in her companion's voice, a look that the Minotaur seems to wear well, especially when talking about his kind. That is a great dream. With your determination, I'm sure it will come to pass, though forgive me for not being fully aware of what a struggle it must be. I'm not the most knowledgeable of the kind, she said sheepishly. Uruz looked to Kor with his full attention. He seemed rather puzzled that she had a way to offer her stories to someone that was gone. You can send your stories to someone who has passed on? Your abilities amaze me more and more each day, he shouted almost as loud as the rolling thunder, though his was followed by a hearty laugh. My kind have history. We are proud people who have been wronged in the past. Many of the people in the land took us for slaves, forced to work the chains and shackles, imprisoned and punished for what we are. Uruz got somewhat solemn as he spoke. In our freedom and under the mighty Sargas, my people believe that these lands are ours. And I do not doubt that my people are able leaders, though they will destroy all who oppose them. Loyalty was everything to my folk, which is why none go against our families or emperor. It is why I can never return unless I wish to forfeit my life. But if I can earn the respect of people here, have my deeds spread across the lands, and challenge the Red Minotaur, I can have equal say to the leaders. Uru stared ahead as he spoke. His ruby eyes blazed the fire of determination in them. The Red Minotaur? Who is that? Cor asked carefully, searching from the man's eyes with a quiet look, intensely seeming to be a key trait in the companions of hers. Perhaps time is too tamed a herb to represent him. The blaze in his eyes, the determination in his shoulders, and the powerful, deep-set grit makes him seem more like an age-old oak. Having withstood and willing to withstand every which way the wind may howl, her hands itch for her journal, but she abstains from it for now. Uruz took a deep breath and let his chest swell. He thought for a moment before he started to speak, like a child speaking of a hero. The Red Minotaur is a champion of our people. They are the mightiest of warriors of our kind. They look after the good of our people. To earn the name, you must defeat your comrades who are also the strongest of your kind. Such as rank is near equivalent to the Emperor. Uruz spoke proudly. He never met the current champion, but such a rank still held true to his beliefs. If you defeat the champion, you lose your name and your family holdings, but you are the champion of the Minotaur. I could look after the good of my people. Perhaps I could drive us away from the anger and revenge they seek to fulfill with conquest, Uruz said, looking back to Kor. He stared for a second as he hadn't really told anybody his desires or goals, and it just seemed to slip free from his tongue. But that's a ways away. Kirijolf has other plans for me. If the gods do still exist, I cannot deny their calling. Sometimes I think Sargas will call me back to take on the horns of war. He mumbled the last bit, not really sure if he was making the right choice. Kor stares into the canopy, arranging her thoughts. The Minotaur. Uruz had always seemed to her unapproachable. There was something in his intensity that frightened her. Not that her initial interaction with him had helped, and that though, but in the shade of the trees, under the wraps of twilight, she can only watch his features soften and his soul seem to fall asleep, and the man beside her begins to dream. It is a wonderful dream, especially when you can stretch out your hands to obtain it. Though, do you need the title in order to be the defender of your people? She paused to think for a moment. It seems counterintuitive, you know. In order to be a champion, you must defeat the one they deem a champion. She stops. Her thoughts skidded to a halt as her hand flies to her mouth. She then turns away, embarrassed. My apologies. Here I am making remarks where I probably don't understand your culture well enough, she weakly chuckles. Uru was forced to smile, shook his head. His chin was held high, and his bright, but now he looked at to the ground, and pain filled him. I'm deemed a traitor. I abandoned the Legion, and I was to be killed at the dawn the day after my sentence. I could not go back without being struck down on sight. Uru spoke low. Though he left for what he felt was the right, it burdened him with great shame. My people will still honor the duel for the title of Red Minotaur. That's a right a right to all of our people. All I need is a way to get home to challenge them. An entire legion stands in my way, an entire legion blind by blood. I'm trying to save them, he started to speak louder. At the moment, he caught himself. The fire burned inside, but he cooled it quickly. The Red Minotaur is known by their deeds, their glory they earn. If I have enough renown, if I am backed by many, if all know my name, perhaps it could work. I might be able to save them. Uruz touched his horn, went to look for the stars in the sky, but only see the canopy of trees. He looked down and sighed once more. Mary sitting against the tree, clutching his satchel, he watches the tiny, glow red elven figure pace through the air in front of him. Uruz, are there many mages in the Legion, or do you know of any dealings with mages? He gripped the satchel tightly as he looked toward Uruz and Kor. Could a non-Minotaur claim that title? Uruz looks at Mary with an odd stare. I think it would be hard to be the Red Minotaur without being a Minotaur. Don't you think? Uruz thought it, thinking over briefly before dismissing the idea. And with that, that was a long one, but let's get started. So, we'll go ahead and flip over something real quick. And it did not work. All right. Okay. And there we go. All right. So, as you guys are sitting there, you've had this small interaction between the four of you. As the rain is still coming down pretty heavily. Off in the distance, you think you hear what sounds to be almost a howling wind, but you're not quite sure. And then after a few minutes, you hear it once again. And then all is silence. And then from there on, all you hear is the rumble of the thunder in the distance and the rain coming down upon the canopies of the trees above you. And from there, what are you guys going to do?
Question. What time is it?
It is probably, trying to think the time of day it is. You're probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, almost 5. Actually, no, it's a little bit later than that. It's probably about 7. It is the fall, so the stars, the sun has set. The stars are starting to shine through to the peaks of the canopy that you can see that Kor's brought over top of you.
And this is right after we fought those giants, and that was during one of the watches, correct?
No. You guys went all the way to the High Claris Tower. You're just outside the tower.
Got you. Okay.
So during the night, since there's this little drizzle going on, I put my rain catcher out to catch some fresh water.
Okay.
Since I have a rain catcher.
All right, you quickly set up your little rain catcher. After a few minutes, it's dripping down fast enough and so forth like that. You're able to
Well, that way
Um,
everybody can refill their water.
Okay, you're able to fill everybody's canteen, the water skins up, and everything like that.
So we're just waiting for the shipment, right?
That's right. They said they'd probably have it around dawn.
All right. Well, I mean, looks like we've got some time to kill. What do you guys want to go do?
First, mate, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Oh, sure. What's up, Jeb?
How is that egg doing? It's been some time, and just is it still safe? Have you noticed anything?
Have I noticed anything?
Last time you checked on it, it looked fine. You haven't checked on it at all today.
Oh, I can go check on it real quick if you want me to.
I mean, if it's not a bother, I'm just making sure it's okay. It doesn't matter to me. I was ready to eat it.
Oh, I mean, I thought we were gonna sell it. I didn't think it was gonna be taking care of it. We just kind of forgot about it. But yeah, I'll check it here in a second.
Perrin pulls off his ring and he flicks it into the air, and as it's like twirling through the air, his form like crumbles to dust and it gets sucked up into the ring, and the ring just falls gently onto the ground. How's the egg?
As you pop into it, there you see your large mound of blankets and pillows and everything like that you made for this nice little to keep the egg warm. Where you thought you would see the egg is no more. All you see is broken off shell and casings scattered throughout the area.
Perrin stands very still and just starts going.
You hear what sounds to be a slight.
Is that you? Come on. Don't worry, I'm a friend. Come here. Come to Pop.
Make a animal handling check for me, please.
Oh no, this is gonna end very poorly.
You hear what seems to be some rustling on the backside of the pile as you kind of circle around a little bit. You think you see what looks to be a spiked tail kind of curl up underneath it.
Perrin pulls out his hoopak and kind of like slowly lifts the blanket and looks underneath it.
As you pull it up, you see this small head, like really kind of. Let me pull up. I need to remember what the wyverns look like again, real quick. Sorry, it's been a while since I've seen one. Let's see. Like this little draconic looking like lizard head kind of pokes its head out a little bit and just.
I immediately reach into my pouch and pull out some like dried jerky and like hands it to him.
All right, go ahead and give me another animal handling check. All right. As you kind of get down there, you hold out the dried meat towards it. It kind of makes another and quickly reaches out and snatches the dried meat from your hand and then starts chomping down on it.
I reach to pet it.
It snaps at you.
You're feisty. I like it. All right. I'm not sure what to do at this point.
Perrin just pulls out all of his rations and just kind of like sets it up in a little pile for him.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, and just like set it in front of it. And then he's just gonna sit down patiently in front of it to wait for it to come up and start snacking on it.
Okay. It just kind of sits there and it stares at you. Like kind of pulls its head back down a little bit, pops its eyes up over the pile, and just kind of looks at you, glances over at the food, glances back at you. Slowly, it kind of crawls out of it and starts chomping down on some of the rations.
I just sit very still next to it as not to disturb it, but I just kind of like watch it and try to make and just kind of like just to like I don't know, like have myself warm up to it or have it warm up to me, just kind of being in my presence.
All right. It just chows down. It eats quite a bit of your rations, even some of your spoiled ones that you'd had that had been left in your pack for a little while, longer than you expected. It devours pretty much everything. And then it kind of stops, look at you, blinks its eyes 2 or 3 times, and then kind of curls up and then goes silent. And as you kind of look at it, you notice its eyes are closed.
Perrin will then be like, he gets really excited and then exits the ring.
Okay.
And from the ring starts to vibrate and like shaking on the ground as this steady stream of dust comes out of the ring vortexes, and then Perrin's standing there. You're not gonna believe what we have in there, guys. Guys, we're parents. It
What?
hatched.
I mean, if you need any motherly advice, I'd be more than happy to supply.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing at this point, but I gave it all my food, and I now have none left.
Let me get this straight. There is a baby wyvern in your ring.
I don't know what to name him either.
Mary, do baby wyverns sell for more than eggs?
Yeah, like a
Oh,
lot more because they actually survived.
Oh,
Kind of like a chicken egg isn't worth as much as a chicken.
there you have a point. How do we take care of it?
I don't know, but he's sleeping right now.
Food, probably water. They definitely need water.
Oh, water's important. I probably should have brought him some of that.
What all do I know about baby wyvern taken care of?
Make a history check for me, please.
Because I'm super into wyverns.
You do know that they prefer live meat. They will, especially ones that are currently in the process of being domesticated. They prefer, preferably like live rabbits, stuff like that. Just small creatures that they can use to train their instinct for hunting. That's usually what the mothers do when they train the wyverns when they're kind of raising them up. The ones that have been domesticated that you have read about. Usually people will give them raw meats or slain animals and so forth like that to feed them to kind of warm up to them. They do prefer like meats and stuff like that. They actually do not like any greenery. Like they don't like leafy lettuces or anything like that. It's all pretty much a pure diet of meat.
Okay, they're carnivores, and yeah, just meat. Do we want it to be more wild, or do we want to try to domesticate it?
Listen, my son or daughter's gonna grow up with manners.
So
I
you,
thought we were selling it.
Well, I don't know what's going on at this point. I'm just really overwhelmed.
well, raw meat would be best then, because if we want it to be, release it into the wild type of thing, we would probably have to, catch some rabbits and let him chase them. Or her. Can you get it out of wherever you have it hidden?
I
Do
mean,
they
I
Do they
could.
fly when they're babies? Perhaps it's best to keep it contained within the ring.
Yeah, I could bring it out, but I don't know. Like, I think I like Uruz's idea. It might be best if we just kind of keep him in there. But I'm more than happy to bring him out at some time so y'all can meet him.
How about we do that where they cannot fly into the sky? We're quite in the open here. Perhaps when we get back to Palanthus, we can go and do some more research at the library if things go better.
That's true. I wonder if I
Thank
could put a
you,
leash on
Jay.
him.
I appreciate it. Love you. Yeah, I just hit it the last couple of days.
So proud, so proud.
Yeah, she's on the last stream I hit it. So thanks. Appreciate the subscription.
But yeah, I mean, I wonder if I could put a leash on it. That could be cool.
Yeah, that's what I figured we would do. Get it accustomed to people so it doesn't just come out trying to eat everybody.
Well, Perfect. If that's what we're doing, then I need meat. I need to find me a lot of meat.
Thank you, Udi.
Do I hear hype train?
Hype, 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 hype.
Yeah, I don't think so. You guys seriously don't have to subscribe, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. I'm just doing this for fun, so I was happy they hit it, but still just doing it for
I don't
fun.
care. Just take my love. Accept it.
Okay. I will accept it. So, sorry, what was that last part you said? Jeez Louise. Envy, thank you so much. Hype train!
Hype
Thank you,
train!
Envy.
Choo
I
choo!
appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. I really do. Seriously, you guys, stop. Thank you for the hype train. Appreciate it. All right, let's get back to playing some D&D. All right? Thanks, Envy. All right, so
see what you got on screen now, real fast. Oh,
what?
just looking at that temperature.
Yeah. Do you guys not see the temperature?
No,
No.
Oh.
no.
That's supposed to be viewable by you guys. I'll have to see if I can fix it. That's weird.
I can see the
It's doing that stuff.
calendar compact.
It's very cold, I think.
13 degrees Celsius. That's what, mid 50s?
I don't know Celsius like that.
Cold.
I'm trying to convert it into Fahrenheit, but you know.
Udi,
Udi,
13 degrees Celsius.
Canadian.
What's that feel
Yeah,
like?
that's like, what's it work out to 50 something?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
kind of
so
what I
yeah,
expected. It's
it's
been by
pretty
about mid
cold.
50s.
I would say 20 is supposed to be like room temperature, 20 or 23.
I don't know. I don't speak Canadian.
20.
So.
20 degrees Celsius is 80 degrees outside.
80 degrees? Okay.
All right.
Okay, never mind. It's not room
Is-
temperature.
But I know
What's room
that the
temperature?
scale drops pretty quick, though, in degrees for the Canadians. So when you drop down to 15, it's like I think it's roughly about 60. So,
I don't know. There's a formula I learned in high school, and I never remember it.
yeah. I
They
don't
measure my
remember.
temperature in Kelvin.
Here, I'll do. Let's do a conversion real quick.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, God. Hey, guys. I hope you guys are ready to just derail this campaign. We're not actually playing D&D tonight.
Yeah, you guys are
Talking
pretty much
about
screwing me
temperature?
over right now.
Listen. I just want to go hunting. Perrin's just gonna lift up into the air, fly around, and start pelting rabbits with rocks.
Okay.
Whoa.
I like to make animal calls to try and attract the animals with my animal experience.
Okay. So go ahead. Both you give me nature checks at the advantage.
Nice.
I would say I used to wild shape. I should be able to animal talk.
After a couple of minutes, you guys do flush up a couple of rabbits. Give me a quick. Are you like using the hoop hack, or are you actually using your Eldritch Blast?
Oh no, I'm Eldritch blasting these bitches.
Oh my
Go ahead
God.
and just give me your Eldritch Blast attack roll, which is like a 1d20 plus your proficiency modifier. There you go. Give me one more. All right, yeah, you ping two rabbits pretty quickly. You know, toss them in the dirt. You fly quickly down and you pick them up out of the dirt with the help of Little J.
Perfect.
This will be great.
I'm sorry, did you say Jay for a second?
Oh, sorry, Vixen.
What were you asking, Vixen?
No, I'm just saying with the help of Vixen, you're able
Okay,
to
cool.
flash
I'm
up
sorry, I
and
was-
thump two rabbits.
Okay.
I quickly come back to the campfire holding the two rabbits, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be right back, and I'm gonna disappear and go back into the ring. If you'll allow it for story purposes, I know mechanically it's not allowed. But
Yeah, I'll allow it for story purposes.
Okay, and I'll disappear back into the ring to go feed the boy.
Okay, as you go in, it's still just curled up on the side where you last. It looks like it's asleep. As you come in and the smell of the blood of the rabbit start to permeate, you see head of the small wyvern pop up and kind of starts looking around.
I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna throw it like in between me and him, and it's gonna thump on the ground.
Okay. As it does that, it kind of almost distinctly jumps up and then pounces on it. Like as it jumps up in the air, it flaps its wings once or twice. It kind of like floats in the air a little bit and then drops down on it and starts tearing into the rabbit. After a few minutes, it devours the thing, starts licking its claws of the blood that was left behind, and then kind of glances back up at you. You see almost like a little bit of what you think is probably a perplexed look on its face.
Aaron is going to like hold the next rabbit above his head and kind of like jiggle it around.
Okay. Give me another animal handling check at the advantage, please.
Oh. That's what we like to see.
All right. As you kind of handle that, you kind of jiggle it around. It slowly but surely comes up to you and kind of like reaches up and snacks it out of your hand and then pulls it down the ground and starts tearing it into it again.
I want to try touching it again. Can I pet it?
Yeah. You kind of sit there. It kind of looks at you, and it kind of you pet it, and it just kind of almost cat-like kind of rubs its head against your hand a little bit.
Yes.
And then it kind of realizes what's going on and takes a few steps back and kind of wanders back over its area. You hear it go.
Perrin will like audibly chuckle, like kind of laugh a little bit, and then just like smile at it for a second.
Okay. It just kind of looks at you again.
I'll go over to the bed and fluff it up for him to kind of for it to crawl back in, and I kind of like motion for it.
Okay. After a few minutes of motioning, it kind of trots over and kind of gets back in the same area it was once before and kind of curls up and doesn't lay its head down completely. It kind of puts it down on its two front claws and is kind of watching you through its eyes are slit just ever so slightly open.
Perrin's going to very quickly start wyvern-proofing the inside of his chamber.
Okay.
So like taking some like breakable items and puts them up and kind of like running around and like kind of just making it nicer for him, giving him a little bit of a wider play area.
Okay.
To which I will look at him and be like, "I'll be right back, buddy." And then
I'm gonna start calling out things that would be. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you were done. Just like calling out things that, like, as a mom, I'm like, like don't touch the socket kind of things that like moms would say, and like start like giving it like ridiculous motherly advice that might not even make sense or be real anymore.
Okay. As you pop out of the ring there, you hear Vixen just kind of yelling at the top of her lungs, all these strange things that you almost vaguely remember hearing your mom say to you as you were younger, kind of quick flashes of memories of, don't touch the stove, it's hot, but if you really want to touch it, go ahead and touch it. That's the thing your mom would add to it, but she would warn you of things that might be dangerous, and you hear Jay kind of just rattling out these random things here and there.
So I can hear those in the ring, so I definitely.
Oh, can you?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear all outside influences while in the ring.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I kind of pop out. I'm like, "Do you guys want to see him?"
Yeah.
And then in my hands, I'm going to cast prestidigitation, and I'm going to create exactly what it looks like.
Oh.
All right.
And it just kind of like it will float around. I'm going to recreate the image of me feeding it, and kind of like.
Can you do that with prestidigitation?
I can. I can create a small. Let's see. Oh, where is it?
I think that's a different spell, not prestidigitation.
You create a non-magical trinket or an illusionary image that can fit in your hand that lasts to the end of the turn, end of your next turn.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like a small little one. It's not like I can make it big or like minor image or anything like that, but it's just like a little thing that fits in my hand to show.
All right. So he just kind of creates this little image in his hands of the infant wyvern that's there. As you kind of look at it, it looks a lot like the one that you guys defeated once before.
What color is it?
It is. Roll me a 1d6 for me.
Who?
Anyone. I don't care who. Just somebody.
Got it.
It is green.
Oh fuck! We gotta kill it.
No!
What's the green word in
I like
Draconic?
green.
What was that?
What's green in Draconic?
Green is actually a green. A green dragon. Like, so if you're thinking from a dragon's perspective, that of what you've read, or you
Just
can
the color.
Oh, it just you do know that it's gaseous is usually.
Well, I
what-
meant like the word for it.
Oh, I have no idea. I'd have to look that up.
That's what I name it.
Well, let's see if I can find.
Write
Oh
it
my
down.
God.
Be
please.
called Spiker.
There
Oh,
is
those
a
the
draconic
rails?
translator.
I got it
Are
open
those-
right now. Hang on, I'm posting it in chat. It's this.
Is
This
this-
is green.
Is this the rails? You got
Wow.
the train going off the rails again?
What?
Choo choo.
Chuka?
No way.
A chuck. Yeah, I
Oh.
name it that.
A chuck.
Yeah.
Little Jay, that was the
Squawk.
first dragon we killed was a green one.
Okay, so I didn't know if it was like just stories or actually what happened because I had no idea what happened.
Yeah. So
No, there was a green dragon in Lost Mines of Pandora.
Chewak it is.
Yeah.
That's his name. A Chewak.
a Chewek.
A Chewak.
A Chewek. All right. You guys have now named this wyvern, this baby wyvern, a Chewek.
A Chewak.
Imagine come across a dragon, they go, wow, you named him Green?
Listen. It's the best thing I could do for him. He hasn't developed much of a personality yet.
All right. So as you kind of show that image, kind of what you're looking, everybody kind of looks at it. Cora's very interested in it too. She's kind of overlooking it. You see almost a little bit of a look of excitement as you guys talk about possibly letting it out and about later, later down the road.
I guess we'll just kind of decide what we want to do with it later then, right?
Certainly here by now.
Good talk. I guess we'll just kind of wait till dawn, right?
All right. So as you guys camp out for the night, who's taking first, second, and third watch?
I'll take first.
Okay.
I'll do first as well because we don't do it solo anymore.
Okay. Who's taking second?
I'll take second.
I'll
Alright.
also take second watch.
And who's taking last?
I'll take third.
Physics speaks up and he says he'll take third also. As the night goes through, goes uneventful. You guys wake up first thing in the morning, fairly well rested.
Jesus Christ.
There in the distance, as you kind of look down over the High Clares Tower, past the tower into the valley, you have a very disheartening look. Out in the direction as you guys kind of ponder of the direction of where home is, you look out that direction, and there in the distance you see almost what looks to be a black line on the ground. Dust raising up from it. From what you see, it looks like an army or armies coming towards the tower. As you guys kind of watch this happen, you quickly see the gentleman you were talking about earlier. Hold on a second. Got a message. Okay. All right, Udi. Well, if that's the case, if you guys want to RP stuff at night, you guys need to let me know. And then we'll let it. Does anybody want to go over anything before we jump to the daytime?
Yeah.
Okay. Mary, go for it. So this will be during. Are you doing it during your second watch with?
Yeah.
With.
Philip.
Okay.
So, Mary,
Philip?
we were, the library, the House of Healers.
Yeah. In
How's
Cal-
your father
Calaman?
doing?
what do you mean?
Okay. So in Palanthus, your mentor was killed, murdered
Yeah.
by a student,
Yeah,
by one of her apprentices.
apparently. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
The red glowing elven like hides.
Nothing
Although
to
it still
say
gives
about
off
that.
10 feet in light. Not.
Just-
I don't really want to talk about it, no.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I
Why?
feel like there might be something important, but I might just be making conclusions from nothing.
But,
Do-
like, why are you a renegade now? That's the real question.
That's a great question. Well, you see, our friends were fighting 3 very big giants, and I made this quick determination that one of us would probably die, and I figured death versus being a renegade would probably be.
But what if
You
they
know,
send assassins after us?
I mean, they'll probably just kill me, and I
Huh.
did that once. It sucked.
Wait, you did what once? You killed somebody?
No, I died. Well, I've killed people. Yeah, we've
Well,
killed
I
a lot of
meant
people.
like you murdered someone?
like the bandits that attacked. I mean,
Oh, we defended ourselves. That's different.
I've never like murdered like in
Yeah.
the street, stabbed someone. Have you murdered someone?
No.
So you're saying that there's a series of
What
events.
do you-
Let me just walk
what do you-
through
what do you-
I've
What are you asking me, Philip?
So in the House of Healers, you're a man, the Hummingway, Mr. Hummingway,
Yep.
recognized you and said, "Oh, hey, you look just like my son, Nailus Hummingway."
What
And
are
you
you
were like-
inferring? What are you inferring here?
And you were like, "Oh no, that can't be me." I've blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm
And
married to Moonstar.
of course, it couldn't be you because Nailus Hummingway was imprisoned in. 1 second, I'm looking at the map because I've forgotten the name of the town. It was imprisoned in Palanthus, which conveniently you mentioned that you have some history in Palanthus around that area.
Yeah.
And then we go to Palanthus and we go into the library and we find out that your mentor was killed by Nailus Hummingway, who went to a similar prison that you may or may not have been around.
I've told you this. I was in prison, yes.
Yeah, in the same prison that Nailus Hummingway was in? Did you meet him?
Apparently. I don't think I've ever met him.
You're both in the same prison, with the same mentor, and you've never met him? Like,
What are you asking?
I'm asking if you've murdered your mentor, basically. Are you Nailus Hummingway?
Maybe, Peleus. Maybe.
Okay. That's. I mean, I get it. The whole name thing, but I'm just asking. Like.
Yes, I am nice.
Okay. Well, you already know my name.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm nice Hummingway.
But
remember the book? I don't want to take it out of the satchel because the satchel's the only thing making it to where people can't scry on it. Nobody can see anything in this satchel by magical means.
As he kind of mentions that, as you kind of glance down, and now that you are fairly well trained in the arts of magic, just through your recent abilities of usage, you do see what looks to be small runic scroll work on the outer flap of the satchel that he's carrying.
And I've only ever regretted following my master's order once, and that was the last one. She asked me to kill her
Oh,
to keep
Is it-
the knowledge from this book from being known.
oh,
And that,
that's a. Whenever I was like, oh, we're criminals on the run, going to Knight's Landing for a new life. I wasn't expecting. Oh yeah, the guy
yeah.
broke into the royal. You know, to
Wait, what?
What? Well, okay. Well, since you confessed to murder, I broke into a royal garden. It's not that impressive.
I've been traveling with a thief?
I didn't take anything. I wanted to impress a woman, and the royal garden's very nice. It's a great place. It's extremely illegal for anybody to go into.
Love
I may have
makes
gotten seen.
love makes people do stupid things.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, technically yes, but yeah, not my best moment.
But also, I'm very tempted to read this book.
I mean, did she tell you not to?
Pretty much. But what if I could bring her back with the knowledge in this book? Because death isn't finite anymore.
That's true. But
I don't know how
Yeah,
we
I
came
mean-
back, but we came back.
see, I've kind of been living fast and loose by making promises that I have no intentions of keeping, apparently. But see, I have always had this philosophy of if you die, like if you make a promise that you won't die and then you die, I mean, promises end on death, right? So read your book, book boy, I guess.
You think I could bring her back?
I mean, sure. Anything is possible, apparently.
If only we could
died.
remember how we came back.
I mean, we could ask the others. I reckon they know.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Mary, did you dream about anything when you were dead?
no.
Oh, that's really weird.
I remember solving that puzzle completely correctly and then waking up in the dirt
Yeah. That was
alone.
Yeah. That was a weird puzzle room. I feel like we were supposed to have knowledge that we people who have never seen dragons before had no way of knowing.
Well, I mean, I've seen pictures of them, like
Yeah.
drawings, paintings.
That was a weird puzzle room, man.
And Philip, you've read about it in the book that you no longer have.
Yeah. I've read about one whole dragon that breathed poison. That was really weird.
Peleus, would you like?
That was the only dragon I got to read about. They're the Green Dragon Killing Group, and they killed the Green Dragon in like the first chapter. I
Peleus,
don't want.
Peleus. Would you like
Yeah.
to meet? It's a poor imitation, but would you like to meet Linestra?
Is Lunestra your master?
Yeah.
Sure.
The red elven figure comes out from behind me.
All right.
Huh.
I don't know if it can talk. I think it just talks to my brain. I can't figure that out.
It talks to you.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's technically my spellbook. My spellbook's alive. It's sentient, bro.
Are you? Okay. Sure. That's the third weirdest thing that's happened this month. Yeah. I'll run with it, I guess. I don't know what to do with that information.
Yeah, I don't think it can
Yeah.
talk to other people, which is really weird. But
Yeah, I think it's only able to talk to you.
So,
class features are weird.
I don't really know. I guess we're supposed to watch. I don't think anything's happening. I haven't been paying attention.
Do a standard roll.
I hope there's not like 40 bandits coming to sneak up on us again. That
As
would really suck.
As you guys finish off your conversation, as you bring that up there, Philip, you kind of quickly glance around. Go ahead and make some perception checks for me, please.
Philip's not making perception checks because Philip's not looking around. He's more concerned about the murderer that's directly in front of him.
If neither one
I'll
of you
do
guys
it
are gonna look
at
around,
disadvantage because I'm not really paying attention.
as you kind of glance around, you do notice in the distance on the wall, you do see somebody particularly like looking down towards you guys' general direction, looking at you as the fire's flickering, showing your silhouettes.
Nah, we were talking quiet enough.
Like, hey, there's
All
a
right.
dude coming this way.
So, Mary, as you finish up this conversation with Philip, I forgot I was gonna do this anyways. You kind of sit down and you start going through the personal items of your master. There was her favorite set of robes.
Okay.
There is her personal journal, and as you open the journal and start looking through it, you notice that it is written in the same language that your book that you have is written in. It's written in Draconic. So she somehow had known and learned Draconic from somewhere. You do also have a dagger that looks somewhat familiar but slightly different. It is a small dagger, but instead of having the 5 heads that come twisting off, it has one single head that comes off. And the color of that, the head on the color of the dagger is white. And then there's just random, like, inks and a few papers and stuff like that. But those are the most interesting items that stand out to you.
So robe, journal, dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then some
And then
papers
just
and
other
stuff.
like normal mage type equipment.
Okay.
Inks and paper and stuff like that.
Okay. I have that written down. Kind of.
Yeah, basically you've got enough high-end ink to be able to describe 2 spells without having to pay the extra for the ink. So whatever the cost to describe, transcribe a spell, will be half the normal cost.
Okay.
For the next 3 spells.
Oh, I need to do that later though. I was gonna say I need to look at this spell book I got. But yeah.
All right.
Next.
As you kind of finish up your watch, then who was taking the last 2 was Physic and Vixen.
Yes.
All right. Vixen, anything you want to do before morning, or you just
I'm just scrawling in my notes and journals and things.
All right. Physic kind of is not really paying attention. He's kind of got his own little book open, writing down things. As you kind of glance over, you do see what looks to be a drawing of the mechanical bird that he was excited about possibly getting up and working for his great grandnephew. Your watch goes fairly uneventful. Then back to what I was saying before. As you wake up, it's probably by the time you get up moving around, you see the gates start to open up. The wagon full of stuff comes out. It seems like it's coming out a little quicker than what you would expect, and that's when you notice, as you look over into the distance towards where night landing you think might be, you see the line, what looks like an army on the march, dust raising. There you see the knight you met the day before at the gate quickly pull up an initial wagon and 2 horses. He goes, here you go. Here are your supplies. If you have not noticed, we have visitors of sort. Then he stops and he looks over at you, Uruz, and he goes, this isn't your doing, is it? He kind of starts to reach for his sword.
I've been here the whole time waiting for this cargo. What do you mean my doing?
I just walk up straight to him, right in front of his face, and ask him, how dare he accuse a friend of mine traveling with the squire or the knight?
He just kind of looks right past you.
And I take my shield and everything, and I push it in his chest and tell him to get out of here.
All right.
You will not insult one of my friends and accuse him of something he has not done.
He takes a step back and draws his sword. He looks at you and he goes, "Are you part of this? Are you part of the enemy that is marching upon our gates? Are you with the legions that are marching?"
I walk right up to him, letting his sword touch him or whatever it's doing, and tell him, would we still be here waiting for the cargo?
Make a persuasion check for me, please. All right. He kind of backs down a little bit, takes his sword, puts it down to where the tip's in the dirt.
You got two options. We can either A, maybe help you, or we can take the goods and leave.
Take the goods, leave. This is a mark upon you, Kellenor, and not
care.
a good one.
You're not worthy of a knight anyway. Accusing people you don't even know. I will let them know about you also.
You have much to learn. And he turns around and he starts to walk off. You notice
in his direction.
As he turns around, you do notice that he has a piece of paper that is in his hand, but now it's crumpled up as he's walking away.
Aaron wants to try to snatch it.
All right, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check, just normal, because he is very active in what he's doing. As you kind of wander up to him, you kind of slightly bump into him. You're like, "Oh, sorry," and you're able to snatch the paper out of his hand without him really noticing.
Wonderful. I run back to the group.
I got something.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna unfold it and attempt to read it to the group.
It is a commendation for Kellenor, Garrett Kellenor, of successfully taking the supplies and having this particular knight's sign of approval on it for any particular honor guard that you might submit it to.
Ooh, sorry, man.
I wonder how that would affect him getting turned in and then him telling stories about me. Kind of oxymoron, isn't it? Anyway, let's
you
get
didn't
the
need to
goods
stand
and get.
up for me. I'm used to things like this.
Well, I'm tired of people accusing people of stuff that they're not done. If the world's changed in this 3 years, then I might as well just make my own order.
Old man,
Yes.
how many guards did it look like there was at the High Claris Tower? Like, did it look like it was like really guarded and bolstered up, or like is this army that's approaching gonna fucking wipe them out?
As you kind of glance around, you notice that the way that the side of the High Claris Tower you're on, down in the valley, where it heads towards the valley, there's two walls that come off and down the hillside and connect right into the canyon walls. But you're still up high enough that you can actually see down. The area you're in, it looks almost like maybe there's, you being very familiar with the way war and stuff like that. It's kind of almost like a hilltop that overlooks a wall that would be able to have archers lined up on, firing down into the area that would be pinched into. As you look at the High Claris Tower, you notice there's a lot more activity. By the looks of the way everything is, you do think that with the number of knights that are there, or the small garrison that's there, they might be able to hold it for quite a while, just because of the way the tower sits in the canyon, the way the walls are situated, as you kind of do a general look over it. But you do know that after a while, they will be in a world of hurt.
Do we see any flags or any bearings of origin of the people?
They're too far out for you to really tell that.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. All right.
If we leave now, we might be able to signal Palantis, and they might be able to send some guards to the High Claris Tower to bolster the defenses, but we would have to make haste now.
Uruz, you don't have a spyglass? Ship people usually do.
It's been a while since I took my possessions from my ship. I believe they're still on the Undertow.
Would you happen to have one, Perrin?
A spyglass? That's a good question. Hold on, let me ruffle through my bag.
And I'm gonna attempt to ruffle through my bag to see if I can find anything. Of
Okay.
I don't know
Roll.
what I keep in there.
Yep. Go ahead and give me a percentile roll, please.
Let's go. Where did it go?
I have a hearing horn.
Watch it be Uruz. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. You kind of ruffle through things, and you don't find one in particular.
What are we trying to find? What are we using it for exactly?
To see far away.
I mean, how far do we need to see? Because I just gained a nifty little ability to be able to fly up into the air and be able to take a look at my surroundings.
Honestly, by looking how far they're away, we can't see any taverns or banners or anything. They could be a half day's march.
You doing your calculations, Uruz, and the size of the unit, the size of the army that's out there? Yeah, you're almost right on the head. They're about a half days out.
That kind of dust cloud that's following them, that's not good.
You do see what looks to be some dots in the sky too. It's usually like after a battle where you see like crows and stuff like that flying over
Carrion
a
birds,
battlefield. Yeah, carrion birds. But at this distance, these are much larger than carrion birds.
I wouldn't know of any kind of airborne thing in the Empire, would I?
Nope. There's nothing in the Empire that you know of that flies like that.
And I wouldn't have knowledge of anything from Nordmar.
Yep, and still nothing. Give me a quick history check.
Not great at those. History.
Okay, yeah. As you kind of think about it, nothing really that you can think of that flies like that.
I will say this: whatever is in the sky, if they're a half day's march out and I can see them from here, that's really not good.
Should we get these goods to that little village and decide from there what we should do?
Us being here won't sway the tide of battle if an army is approaching. Like I said, we bring the goods back to Yaris, and then we head to Palanthus and see if we can muster reinforcements.
Hell, there we go.
How does that sound? Are we in agreement?
Sounds good to me.
Welcome, Core. Glad you could make it tonight. They basically all that's happened is they got a hold of their supplies to take to Yaris and then continue on to Palanthus at this point. And there's also, like we were talking, there's an army on the horizon outside, out in the valley, coming from the direction of where Knight's Landing is.
Oh, okay.
All right. So as you guys are kind of glancing around, loading up the last of the wagon, making sure everything's in there. In there, you do see some general supplies, food stocks. Looks like it'd be enough to feed the village for quite a while through the winter. It's a fairly large wagon that you have. It has two fairly big oxen pulling the thing. And as you guys get everything together, you head out. At this point, as you're traveling along, due to what you were able to do earlier, you were able to vanquish the stone giants that were causing the problems getting from Yaris to the High Claris Tower, and then you also took care of the bandits that were between Yaris and Palanthus. The travel goes fairly uneventful. You go a full day and a half before you hit Yaris. As you pull into Yaris, there you see the same skinny, dilapidated knight that was there once before, kind of leaning on the doorway as he watches you all kind of looking in. His eyebrows slightly raises, looks at you, goes, huh, "You made it. Good. Please tell me those supplies are for us."
Take it all.
Hang on. Was there a list or something? Because I think these actually had to go back partially to Palanthus.
Uh, well, this is he pulls out a small thing and this is what we've been requesting. I was hoping all of this was for us, but it looks like probably about half of it is. He starts going through what he's requested recently. He pulls it all off. What's left is mainly trade goods. There is some lead bars, some iron bars, stuff like that. That looks like they're all heading towards Palanthus.
I tell him to take a few extra lead bars for repairs for the equipment and making new equipment.
Okay. He takes a few here and there.
A quick word with you.
Yes. Yes.
We were just at the High Claris Tower, and at dawn, there was a sizable force of enemies coming from the valley. The High Claris Tower is going to be in quite the battle. For how long they can last, I do not know. But
he kind of looks around. And he goes, "Well, I'll muster what knight's garrison we have here. It's only 15 of us, and I'll see if I can get any of the miners to go with us."
You should probably set up a defense here in case they come here. No need sending your people there when you need to protect this place.
Chances kind of looks at you and he goes, "Garrett, you don't understand. The more defensible place is there. We've held armies there before. It's a long history of armies failing to beat down the walls of the High Claris Tower. These won't, once again, the High Claris Tower won't fall. I'll get who we can. These miners, believe it or not, they actually make fairly formidable archers. We'll
just watch over yourselves.
Very well. Thank you. And Garrett, here, and he hands you a small slip of paper, and you notice that on there is a small seal of the Knight of the Crown. He goes, "For payment, Squire, for your retrieving of the supplies and dropping them off here. You present this to your council for knighthood, and hopefully my word will hold some sway." In the meantime, is there anything else you'd like to do? I must be off to muster who I can.
No, if there's any extra weapons in that wagon, if you need them, take them.
There was no weapons. It was just mainly like trade goods that were inside there. So he's like, well, thank you. Well, let Palanthus know where the extra items went.
Who do we need to seek in Palanthus to send help? Who's the quickest person to get to?
Probably go to the council's estate. That is what's referred to as the Lord's Palace.
All right. We will try to get you back up as soon as we can.
You actually never did get the knight's name from the.
That's what I thought. I was just double
have
checking.
the name on the paper that I stole.
Oh yes, I guess it would. Let me go ahead and make one up for you real quick.
I'm gonna ask Perrin, can I add that paper to this paper, or would you take both papers?
It's up to you. If you want to hold them, you can hold them. If you want me to hold them, I can hold them. I don't know. I don't care.
All right. Well, then I shall hold them if you don't mind.
Here you go, Buckaroo.
So
it is Crown. It was Crown Knight Typhu. Tiphu.
I hate it when I get the typos.
I just smashed a couple keys on the keyboard and adjusted it. So. All right.
This guy's name was what?
Chances. Chassis.
Chesses.
Chesses, that's right.
Chesses.
Yeah. We'll steal a knighthood if we have to. Mary. So, what are you guys doing here in Yaris? Are you guys going to continue on?
Yeah, we've got what, 2 carriages now?
Yeah, you got one wagon you got 2 wagons basically.
Is there any supplies we should take from here to bring back to Palanthus? Or perhaps should we bring...
Did we rent horses, or are we making Urus drag 2 carts?
Are my war horses helping carry stuff?
Well, we've got 2 oxen, and we don't need 2 oxen for 1 carriage anymore since we got rid of over half of it.
Yeah, you probably could consolidate down to 1.
So we could have 1 oxen per carriage and save the war horse or other horses for other stuff.
Yeah. Was it Urus? I thought you guys actually got the horses too.
Guys, I believe he did, or some of you.
Yeah,
I paid a lot of money, is all I know.
Vixen
I paid
bought
15
everything.
platinum.
Yeah, she bought everything.
So we could have 2 horses and 2.
Yeah, so you have 2 horses. Quickly. Yeah, you have 2 draft horses, 2 oxen, and 2 wagons. The draft horses are on the smaller of the 2 wagons, and the oxen are on the bigger wagon.
And a magical war horse.
And your magical war horse.
We should start a smuggling business.
Viable.
Is there anything? I'm going to ask the gentleman before he leaves if there's anything we need to take back with us to Palanthus for them.
Probably take extra supplies from here to there, like the iron shipments that were supposed to go, but I was going to redirect those towards the steel and iron shipments towards the High Clares Tower.
Well, if it just came from there, then why send it back?
Well, there's our steel that we make here. We get the lead from them and some iron to supplement our iron that we get here. And then we craft it into steel. And then we send it back. So we have shipments of steel heading back that way, since you clearly cleared the roads, or you wouldn't have made it back. By the way, what was blocking the roads to the south?
Do you know of giants? Steel ones?
Giants? Again, those are creatures of fables.
I dig out a tooth and I show it to him.
His eyes kind of get large. He's like, what manner of creatures are these? Why does it seem legends of old are coming back to life?
Because the old ways are coming back to life.
They seem pretty real.
Kind of looks at you perplexed.
Something's happening.
Okay.
We weren't gone for 3 years for no reason. I'll just say that.
Interesting.
But keep your eyes on the horizon.
If I can say one thing, it's have some faith. For in these times, I think it might go farther than what it has in the past.
Urus, for the only one of your kind I've ever met, you're much different than what the stories tell. Are the rest of your kind this way?
There's 2 horns to every minotaur, so take it as you will, but I'm trying to change the name of them.
Kind of nods and looks very thoughtful for a few minutes. He goes, interesting. Well, Urus, I have your back if you ever need me. You seem different.
I appreciate that. Good fighting, and if we can, I'll come back to assist you if possible.
He nods and he goes, you're kind. They still have, they really don't, worship, but they have a belief in Sargus and Carry the Jolly still, right?
Not many think of Kiri Jolith. Most of my kind, they believe in Sargus. His anger fuels them, and that's why they're so formidable in battle.
Well, as Carry Jolith, one of the founders of the Knights here, the Knights of Salamnia, looks at you, nods, he goes, may Carry Jolith watch over your ways and guide your shield.
I reach to my horned pendant for Kiri Jolith, and I focus really hard, and I try to pull it away from my neck as I seen. Who did I see? Was it Hotak that did it?
No, you
Yeah.
did it to me.
I did it.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I did it to Garrett, and I'm gonna pull one from my neck. And
I pull mine
offer
out
it.
from underneath and show it to him.
All right. As you kind of pull it away, you do feel it separate. There you have a duplicate of your medallion that was there, of your holy symbol. You have an exact duplicate in your hand. Chess's eyes kind of grow larger, and he goes, "You say the old ways return. Interesting."
Like I said, have faith. It might help you carry through the night.
Do you hand him the medallion then?
Yeah, I'm holding it out to him.
He kind of very gingerly takes it, looks at it, and he goes, "I will wear this with pride." And he takes it and he kind of puts it over his head, tucks it underneath his shirt. You get he gets a little look of peace that comes over his face, and he goes, "I've always wondered if they were still around. Maybe this is a start of something new."
I don't think they truly ever really left.
Underneath his shirt. Interesting. Well, may Kirijalth watch over you and guide you. And he turns around and he walks back towards the building.
All right, let's get our stuff and get out of here.
All right. As you guys kind of gather everything up.
Quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, Perrin.
Before, while they're all kind of packing up, can I kind of jog after the dude who's walking away?
Yeah, you jog up to Chessus.
I want to pull on his tunic a little bit.
He kind of stops and turns around. And he immediately kind of like grabs to where his belts are, and he fills his pouches, and he kind of breathes a sigh of relief. He goes,
No.
What can I do for you?
I just have a question. I'm not one to really like kind of worry about things, but how's my homeland doing? You know, the land of the Kenders during this. What's happened to them?
I hate to tell you, small one, Goodland has fallen.
What?
And Sylvanesti is surrounded.
Oh.
Because Goodland, which is another portion of Kendermore, is over on Aragoth, but Goodland is over by Sylvanesti. There's the two homelands of Kenders. Goodland, which is outside of Sylvanesti, is currently in control of the Minotaurs, is what he tells you.
Which
and
I
that Sylvanesti
where
is currently
I'm from?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
And Sylvanesti is currently surrounded by some type of military force.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate the update.
Okay, how are you guys shooting these balls across the screen? What the hell is going on?
Let's see.
That's weird. I don't know. What are you talking about, man?
Well, there's whatever.
We're Morning Knight's Landing. It's gone. It's off the map. They destroyed it.
Okay.
No one's
It's not on the world map.
It's not on the world map? Oh no.
No, it's gone. I've been dropping fireballs where it was. It's just destroyed. That's what happened to it.
Oh, no, this is happening on my screen on the Forest Road map.
Oh.
I'm gonna jump to Knight's Landing real quick, see what's on there too.
We'll pull everybody over to the map itself. So
do it real quick. Oh yeah, it does. It just goes to all the different maps. Huh.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
weird.
People have just been seeing me drawing giant fireballs.
Yeah,
in the
like
middle of the
where
map.
are all these things coming from?
Surprised
All right,
suddenly
so-
do that with the game pod.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you and he kind of reaches down, puts his hand on his shoulder. He goes, "Yes, sorry, little one. It is not pretty."
I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not necessarily one to worry about it, but I appreciate the update. I hope you have a good one. Stay safe.
All right. Well, thank you. He turns around. He starts walking. He does a quick check on his belt, kind of does another sigh of relief, and then walks off.
And then Perrin rejoins the group, very
Okay.
solemnly.
All right. You all see Perrin come walking up after talking to Chessus off to the side. Very solemn look on his face, but looks to be ready to move on.
What happened to you? Did he catch you trying to take something?
Oh no, I just had to ask him a question. Not exactly the answer I wanted to hear, but apparently my homeland's fallen.
Fallen? Down?
Hmm?
You fell down?
More like taken over by the Minotaur Legion.
No, I'm sorry to hear that, first mate.
It's not your fault. We're good. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. We'll address that as it goes.
Did you still have family there?
A few.
Ooze? What strategic advantage would the Minotaur see in the Kender homeland? Like,
Not sure.
Where is it on the map? Is it like I surrounded?
So see where the desolation is?
Yeah.
That's where Kendermore and Goodland is at.
Aren't the ogres here too? Around here?
Yes, in the Goodland Mountains. Yes.
In the good. Oh yeah, Ogrelands.
Yeah. See, there's Kendermore right here. I'll pull everybody that direction.
You know what?
Whoa.
I think
Blow it up.
it's a good staging ground to hit the rest of the continent.
I mean, it's surrounded by mountains, though. It's really hard to get through that.
You must understand that we are a naval people. That river, we can send ships up and down and then travel deep into the Bay of Valivor or the Kerman Sea, or we can travel even farther south. I wouldn't be surprised if Sylvanesti might see some conflict. If they've already been No, I don't know the surrounded part. It might see.
They're surrounded. Don't worry, I can let you in on that.
There's that.
Wait, Sylvanesti? My home? The place I come from?
I guess your homeland is surrounded by somebody.
That's. How do Minotaurs like woods and trees?
Figured they would hate them because of their horns catching on them all the time.
You must understand that we're after conquest. These regions that they're taking, it won't remain the regions of the people that once inhabited it. My people will either settle there or raze it to the ground. And let me tell you, if we're going from the past, they don't look kindly to elves, or dwarves, or anyone that once kept our people as slaves.
But then why the Kenders, though?
As I said, I think it was just a staging area.
So, Core, as you're kind of hearing this conversation, as he mentions the Bay of Balfour and Kenderhome being a area where they might stage ships and stuff like that, the time and era you're from, none of that existed. This whole area, the Kerman Sea and the Bay of Balfour that they've been talking about, that's completely new to you. You've never heard of these places, and you were familiar with where Sylvanesti and Kendermore were. It was basically the forest of Sylvanestis all the way up to the Goodland Mountains, and then into Kendermore.
She kind of looks on, a little confused, trying to place in her head where this is.
Yeah, it's completely out of whack. So. All right, you guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys depart from Yaris, you do notice a small caravan of women and children are actually following you, heading off towards Palanthas. As you've secured the roads, they feel safe to travel. As you continue to travel off, after a few days, you roll into Palanthas going, and so let's go over to the map of Palanthas. Why is it not giving me everybody? Oh, there we are. Wow, that loaded up fast. Did it load up that fast for you guys?
Yup.
Yep.
Oh, nice. You guys come up to coming in on the Knight's Road. There you stop in at this small shop where you picked up the wagon, the initial wagon. Are you going to return it, or are you going to keep them? Because if you return them, you get half your steel back there, Vixen.
We can't
Okay.
really use them
But
on
we
the
can
ocean.
return them after we empty them.
Yeah, you can. As you pull in, today is a very cold day inside of Palanthas. The skies are clear, though. Nothing really going on storminess wise, but it's cold. As you wake up in the mornings, frost is on the ground. You can definitely tell you're getting into getting closer to winter than fall.
I want to head straight toward the
Lord's Palace.
yeah.
And you turn. All right. As you head into the palace, you head towards the palace. There you see outside 2 guards. Looks like they have delivered the coat of arms of Palanthas. They're not knights. Standing outside the Lord's Palace. They look at you and say, "What fare you?"
I must speak with the commander. The tower is getting attacked.
He kind of is taken aback a little bit. You say that.
And we also brought back the supplies from the tower.
Okay. All right. We will put you in front of the magistrate. He kind of waves you in. Kind of looks at the Minotaur and the half ogre a little hesitantly, but he still leads you into an area, into a waiting room as you come in, and fairly nice waiting room area. He says, "Please stay here," and he goes. And after a few minutes, a short, portly man, probably in his mid-40s, balding, grayish robes, comes in front of you. He goes, "Yes, what can I do for you all?"
I take a knee.
I'm just a magistrate, nothing there, boy. Stand.
And the tower, there's an army that was approaching it several days ago.
You've cleared the roads between here and the Tower of Palanthas. That's good to hear. What type of things did you run into? What was preventing us from messaging back and forth?
Bandits and stone giants.
Bandits and stone giants. Stone giants, you say?
Yes.
They're nothing but legend. How is that possible?
I don't know, but we also found a lost outpost that was overrun by a basilisk. And if you have people that know how to turn people from stone back to flesh, you might want to go save them.
Powers like that have not been heard since the time of Istar and before the Cataclysm. I'm not known of anybody that could do those type of powers. Last, I must say that those individuals are gone.
Well, then respect should be done for them. But the main
Very well.
concern is the tower. It is being attacked.
All right. We'll send a dispatch immediately. He kind of looks over at the guard that he goes, looks over and he goes, "Send a runner to the tower. Let's see what's going on." And the gentleman nods, and after a few minutes, you see what looks to be 2 younger guardsmen head out of the building. He goes, "Well, they're sent. We'll see what needs to be done in shortly, a few days. Is there anything else that? Oh, yes, your reward. For the supplies. How much did I say the supplies were going to be worth?
1 million.
I can't
silver
remember.
stones?
It was a significant amount, wasn't it? Like 2 or 10,000 iron or something.
No, it wasn't that much.
It
was
was
like 1,000 then.
Million
It
platinum.
was
may have
either
been-
2,000 or 250 steel, but I
I
can't
think
remember.
you
I
said
think
it
it
was
was-
the deed to Palanthas.
No. It was 500 steel for the supply run, and then it was 250 steel for the for the basilisk crystal to put inside the bird.
Oh yeah, the bird. The bird.
For the mechanical bird.
I have these 2 letters. One, the guy was hesitant to give. And I give him the 2 letters.
Kind of looks at it and goes, "This is Knight's business, not mine."
Can you direct me to the person?
The old armory is closed. We don't have many Slumnik Knights here. They've all been dispatched to the tower. The ones you see here are usually on leave, but or they've been stuck here since the roads have been closed.
Okay.
We'll send Runner out to let them know that the roads are back open and that the tower is under peril, and I'm sure they'll ride out immediately.
Who is this guy again?
Just magistrate. You haven't asked him his name or anything like that?
Good sir. I've been so rude. May I ask your name?
Oh yes, silly me. I am Magistrate Talis. Talis. Okay, that was weird. That audio that's going on right now literally sounded like somebody walked from the left to the right behind me.
Yeah, it sounded like a dog.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Winter in Waterdeep, brought to you by DJ Uhtred.
So as he kind of looks around, he goes, well, let me get things in order. And he goes back and he grabs a fairly large satchel and sticks it on the ground. He goes, that's payment for the roads being cleared and opened back up and the supplies accordingly. Is there anything else? We've got dispatches going to the tower now, and we'll send forces accordingly if need be.
We will take our leave for now and get back with you if anything else is needed.
Very well. May I ask your names, and so we can record who accomplished this deed, or do you call yourself something? Your company?
We are a group.
What
You haven't come up with a name yet. No, don't listen to that. We haven't come up with a name yet. We're still debating it.
We're just a group of friends trying to find our way home.
Yusa, did you say the Steeled Ones or the Steel Ones?
Oh, God.
The Steel Ones.
I didn't say either one.
No, not you, Squire. I'm talking to the gentleman over there on the road.
It's the Steel Ones. Something. Steel Ones.
Is that past tense or singular?
What? No, like
Sorry,
steel.
I'm a little hard of hearing.
The steel, like, steel. And I pull out, a steel. And go, the Steel Ones.
I kind of like the sound of the Steeled Ones first. All right, but I'll put that down. And he writes it down, the Steel Ones. And he places a stamp on it to kind of show that it's been completed, and he kind of folds up his book that he has, and he puts it back down on the table, and he goes, very well. Anything else then?
Not that I know of.
Very
we'll
well.
Be staying. Where were we at last time?
It was over in the Noble's Hills. It was the Drunken Noble.
Okay, I'm gonna let him know we'll be at the Drunken Noble if anything comes up that he needs us.
He nods. Very well. I don't think I need you for anything else unless there's other mission board items that you've completed.
We should head to that tinker.
All right. And he kind of nods and kind of ushers you out the door, closes the door behind you. There you guys stand out in the city plaza, looking over the city plaza. With it being so cold today, not a whole lot of people are out and about. They're still kind of, you still see here and there, but because it is as chilly as it is, it's not near as many people. It looks a little bit more active than when you first came to town. Almost like people preparing for winter as the fall is starting to cut in deeper and deeper. But other than that, as you guys make your way over to Physics Nephew's, I can't remember that shop name. What did I call it? Did anybody write that down?
Oh, I might have.
It was
Look.
something wondrous.
Tizik Tilla's Wondrous Emporium.
Okay. Tizik's Wondrous Emporium. As you make it over there, Tizik opens the door and goes, "Oh, you're back! You're back! You're back! Oh, great, 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 great! Did you happen to come by what we were looking for?"
You are in luck.
Very well.
But we could not find a unicorn's butt hair.
The hair of a unicorn's mane. That's fine. But it'd be interesting enough to see if this actually works. And he kind of holds his hand out. May I see one?
I give him the head because I brought one inside.
Okay, you put the head, you kind of hand it to me, like he goes to try to hold it, and him being as small stature as he is, because he is a gnome, it falls to the ground. He's like, how am I supposed to get it out of there?
Yeah, about that. Every time we tried to touch that, it almost turned us to stone. I have this one here, the stone exposed, but it's still tethered inside.
He goes, bring it over here and put it on my counter. And he kind of clears away, kind of just pushes out of there. Actually, you see the bird kind of on the table to the side, splayed open, with looks like maybe a mounting bracket in the top of its head where you would expect the bird's brain to be.
I throw it up there and I try to use my knife to fiddle the crystal out so it's more exposed.
Okay. At this point, he kind of looks at it. He goes, "It turns you to stone, you say?"
Yeah, our friend here, Vixen, almost suffered from the paralysis.
Okay. He quickly dons a pair of gloves, and he takes these goggles down off the top of his forehead, puts them on. He kind of starts looking around. He pulls out a set of tweezers. He grabs the crystal, pulls it up, kind of looks at it, gets some large knives, like cutting, almost like a pair of scissors, and he snips whatever's holding the thing into its place. Takes the crystal then away from there and sets it down inside where the bird is. Takes two small mechanical, looks like metal cables, connects it up, closes up the bird, taps it a few times like he's closing up some rivets. He kind of just starts to look at it expectantly. After a few minutes, you see the bird's wing, its right wing, start to move a little bit, kind of fold itself back up towards its body. The right wing kind of folds itself up towards its body, stands up, and starts looking around.
By my horns.
He's like, "It worked! It worked! It worked! It worked! Oh, it worked."
Yeah, you're sad that it worked.
Yeah, kind of. It's gotta find a new goal now. Gotta do something different. My life's goal was to create animated objects like this. But
I mean,
now
this is only
I've done it
one.
successfully. Yeah, but if I'd done it once, I can do it again.
Can you make
Can you
a
make it
dragon?
bigger?
I could possibly make it bigger, but the power source would have to be much bigger.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to use a basilisk crystal for that. They're only so big.
What kind of power source is bigger than this? I didn't even know Basilisk had crystals in their head.
Sure, I'd have to figure that out.
Could you find a way to reverse the stone turning?
No, I could try. I could do some research, but that's, whoa, wait a second. I think you've given me a new life quest. Kind of starts babbling about how, what type of things turn somebody to stone, what could potentially do it. He starts just rattling on and on and on. Now he's completely forgotten. As he's rattling on, he pulls out a bag, throws it on the counter, pushes it towards the bird, and goes, "Okay, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to get back to work." And Physic kind of looks at it. He goes, Tizik, my good man." And Tizik turns around and goes, "Yes, uncle. Now that you've completed one life quest and you've got another on its way, maybe I could stay and help." Tizik kind of looks and he goes, "I'm not sure. Everything you touch seems to work." He goes, I understand that, but I'm pretty sure that my time with these folks have come, and I think I found a good home for Core. Kind of looks over at you, Core. He goes, "Core, what say you?
What?
You think these are a good family for you to travel with?"
She kind of looks back at everyone.
I give the biggest smile.
She kind of rears back at the smile. That's a new one.
And slap Rose on the back.
I'm gonna pull out some of my wildflowers and like hold them all excited.
Physic turns to you, Core, and he goes, "Core, these folks seem more protective than I could ever been back at home where we were trapped for so many years."
Well, I'm not really worried about me or them. I'm more worried about you. Where are you gonna end up? Here? Are you gonna be here?
"I'll be here for now, and Tizik is family."
What do you mean for now? If you move from this spot, you have to let me know.
Oh, definitely. If he kind of looks over to Tizik and he goes, "Tizik, do you plan on leaving anytime soon?" He goes, No. This is my home as of now, and if we leave, we can leave notes behind and tell her where we've gone." And Physic kind of looks at him and goes, "True. We will make sure to give word to you one way or another, whether it be left here behind or... I'll tell you what, Tizik, would you mind giving her the key to the place?" He kind of looks around and he says, "Yeah, sure." He hands you a duplicate key to the building. He goes, "You're welcome here anytime you want.
Does it
His
explode?
family is my family, and from what I'm seeing is you guys are family to him."
Please take good care of him. He took such good care of me.
Tizik kind of looks at you, looks back at Physic. He goes, "Family takes care of each other."
Hope so. And make sure you both message me as often as you can. I will know everything.
You remembered that I can use that, don't you? Very well. I will message you every chance I get.
Oh,
tell you what,
Physic, I'm gonna miss ya.
Perrin. I haven't been talking much, but it's been great to travel along with you, and you guys have given me much to think upon. Uruz, you yourself, and you, Hotak. I've changed my mind about your kind for now and forever. I've never seen someone so caring, and someone so protective. It's good to see that there's good in people who have always been deemed as evil. Thank you.
Well, your friend Core here is in good hands, and I wish the both of you success in your inventions and studies to come. But Core, grab the bird. We have things to do.
Bird, please.
As you kind of hold your finger out towards the bird, it kind of just jumps over. It's about the size of like a cardinal. Just jumps up onto your finger, flaps its wings a few times.
Is that bag still there too?
Yeah, the bag's still sitting on the counter.
All right, I'll grab that.
Physic, I'm gonna come visit so we can do some more shooting.
Oh, speaking of, I think you've earned this. And he hands you the revolver.
What? No.
I know you're not quite totally versed in on how to use it, but think about the things I taught you when we went out shooting, and it'll come to you eventually.
All right, I'll practice every night.
If you do that, you may want to stay away from people in general.
Fair. I mean, people don't like me near them anyway, so it's totally fine.
Have you thought about making that thing longer?
He kind of looks at you. He goes, "You mean like this?" And he pulls the long rifle he has on his back.
Yes.
This is
yes.
that's. I've got one right now. But still.
Have you thought about making one bigger?
How big?
They got cannonballs there, right?
Yeah, they do. Cannons and stuff like that, they exist.
Like half the size of a cannonball.
Gives me some thought. But I still have my one to reanimate, dead tissue into living tissue. I still must.
What about one with like 5 of those holes to shoot 5 at a time? I'm gonna leave you with that.
Very well. Gives me
Take
some
that
time.
little bag, and I toss it to Perrin.
All right, Perrin, you get the bag of 250 steel.
Oh, okay. I'll hold on to it.
The safest place is with him.
All right. Vixen, Cora, as you're kind of looking at the bird, and Cora, as you poke the bird, it flaps its wings a little bit and actually lifts off your finger, flies around for a few seconds, and then lands back on your finger.
Wait, does it talk?
Unfortunately, it does not. It does not make any noise. It makes like normal, just like melodic, like whistles and stuff like that. But
that's what the unicorn hair was for.
That's what the unicorn hair is for.
It?
It's about the size of like a cardinal.
Okay.
Or a blue jay or a cardinal or something like that.
We done?
Physic and Physic kind of look at you all. Physic kind of wipes a little bit of a tear away from his eyes, and he goes, "Well, Core, I'll miss you. But like I said before, I think you're in good hands."
I hope that you two get along. Please don't kill each other.
We may have some disagreements here and there, but I don't think we'll kill each other.
Accidentally as well. Please don't. I've seen the things you can do with the things you make.
I see what you're saying, Core. I understand. I'll try to put some of the safety measures that you've always asked me to do in place.
Thank you.
But it's not uncommon for our kind to be lost to our craft.
She kind of looks upset when he says that, and is like,
"Oh no, dear Core, I'm not saying I'm going to be lost to my craft. I'm just letting you know that it happens. But you taught me some safety measures. I'm pretty sure I can get Tizik here to kind of understand and do accordingly."
Okay. Well, if I don't hear from you within a certain amount of days, I'll come back.
I'll message you about once a week.
Good. Excellent. You take care of each other, okay?
He kind of looks over at Tizik. Tizik looks at him, nods, and goes, "I'm pretty sure we'll do good. We'll do great, even."
All right. Best of luck to you. All right, let's get moving on, folks.
All right. As you guys leave the Wondrous Emporium, as you exit out into the road, there you guys see, at this point, you've accomplished everything you can think of inside of Palanthas. At this point,
it's only been like 4 days, hasn't it?
No, you're actually like 6, almost 7 days now.
Oh shit!
I need to go back to the library.
All right, let's drop your books off then. Perhaps we have one more night. Have some drinks to ease our minds, and then the ship should be ready to go tomorrow.
Vixen. Okay, you just leave them the note then.
Yeah. Like
okay.
on the for them to use in the future.
Okay, cool. All right. So, all right, guy, what were you saying there, Uruz?
I said, let's go drop off the books that Mary borrowed. We spend one more night in the city, have some drinks, ease our minds, and then the ship should be ready to set sail tomorrow.
Hey,
Unless we have other business in the city, I know we've acquired some coin, perhaps some repairs to our armor, or new armor, weapons, or I'm sure there's some magical bubbles.
hey, I got a question.
Sure, shoot.
Yeah, I'm asking the group.
Oh, okay.
Shoot, sure.
So, you know, I've become a renegade, I guess. Does anyone know what that means?
Get that sour word out of your mouth. You are protecting your friends.
I mean,
I
yeah.
won't hear the word renegade unless you're after being a renegade.
I mean, well.
Let me
it's
ask
not
you this:
really-
Do you want us to take care of it?
I
Do we
mean,
need to go where you need to go to not be one?
I'm just curious. Well, I mean, obviously, we still have to go to the Tower of Sorcery. We have to get Mary, and maybe me. I don't know what's gonna happen. Once we get the boat, I imagine we're continuing back down towards the tower and looking for the fountain still.
Well, yes, we do know where we need to be. We need to go to Zaktaroth or something like that.
I hate to say this, but we also might want to go back to Knight's Landing if that's the direction that army came from.
Well,
if that's the direction the army came from, I don't know how to say this nicely, but there might not be a Knight's Landing left to go back to.
are you saying the Knights of Landing?
I'm saying it might be Empire Landing now.
Oh, Legionnaire Landing?
Whatever it might be.
See, I hope for that rather than them aiding them.
I don't know if they would aid them.
That might be a sore spot. No.
What would be a sore spot?
Nothing. Regardless. So, what is our? We could go to Quinesti, hit up the tower, because do we have another reason to go to Quinesti besides the Tower of Wizardry?
Where is it at?
We have to go south of it for something.
If you guys already forgot that you guys were heading towards Solus.
Well,
yeah.
Where's Solus? Oh, there's Solus.
You guys were heading towards Solus.
Why are we going to Solus?
I don't remember why, but that was the direction you guys were heading.
Wasn't there a fountain there that we had to dunk our stuff in? No, we already did that.
We had to talk to somebody.
We have to go. I got the place. We have to go
here.
That's where we have to go to seek ye, the blue staff.
It's down here, if I remember correctly, right?
No.
Or is that someplace different?
That's down by Icewall Castle, which is where rumored of one of the fountains you were looking for. But the shields that you no longer have in your possession is what you had to bathe in the fountain.
Yeah, we did that. So we're just going to Quinesti for the tower, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were heading down that general direction somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't remember these.
Oh,
it's south.
Colonesti's here.
Yeah, Quinesti's here.
Judging by this map that one of us has, Quinesti is to the southwest of Zaktaroth.
Well,
what?
You guys don't know the exact location of Zaktaroth, though.
Well, it's somewhere in the immediate region.
Well,
rumor has it.
Well, I mean, Core said she knew something of it.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, of
she
course,
knew
knowledgeable.
of the area of Zactor. She remembers the
Yeah,
city of
'cause she
Zactoros.
came from over here, right? Or over
She's
here-ish?
from Darkenwood, which is here.
Well, what was in Quinesti again?
A nation.
Quellinesti is where the Tower of High Sorcery is.
Well, I guess that's we go there, we do your tests. So
There's the
we're able-
tower.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
There's Darkenwood.
They're pretty
There's
close to each
Solus.
other.
Yeah, I'd say let's get to this tower. Let's get this renegade business taken care of.
And the further south we go, we have a better chance of perhaps avoiding my people and the Nordmar.
That's true.
Well, I mean, if they're surrounding Sylvanesti, that might not be true.
Hey, Mary, make a perception check for me, please.
Those fucking rogue people, isn't it?
I hate those guys.
You do notice one that has been following you since you got into town.
Can we just stab them? Like,
Do you want me to confront them? I'll do it right now.
maybe they know what the penalty for being a R word is.
All right.
I think we should take one for questioning.
I mean, that's
Oh, I'm going to the map. I
that's not as
lost.
extreme as
But
murder.
go back to Atlantis.
There's still a public figure here. Let me just talk to them.
I'm gonna turn around and approach whoever's following. Is it the fucking woman again?
No,
Is it? Okay. Does
you
it
don't
look like
recognize
the other guy?
Nope, you don't recognize this one.
All right. I'm gonna approach them.
He turns
are you
around, and
doing?
starts to walk away.
Hey, what are you doing? Why
Oh,
are you following us?
Oh, I'm not following you. You just happen to be going in whatever direction I'm going.
All right, then where are you going?
I'm now heading back to the Lord's Palace.
And why is that?
That's where I'm staying.
So you followed us until I turned to approach you, and now you head back to the Lord's Palace.
I don't know it. I was never following you. You just
Uh,
happen to be going the same direction as I was
I'm
going.
staring into his soul. Is he trying to bullshit me?
Do an insight check.
Oh boy, I'm not great at those.
It's pretty
Oh shit,
upstanding.
maybe I am.
As you look at him, he seems to be a little fidgety, kind of unsure of what he's saying. Those are the tells you can kind of read on him.
I'm gonna use my my size and my longer legs to close the gap and approach him quicker.
All right. He just kind of steps back a little bit and kind of cowers a little bit and goes, "I just was following orders.
And what were those orders?
Keep an eye on you all."
And what did you hear?
Nothing really. When you went into Wondrous Emporium, I stayed outside in the alleyway.
And that's it.
That's it. I wasn't listening to your conversation. I was just keeping an eye on you.
And why would you have to keep an eye on us? We've done nothing but help the city.
It's just what I was ordered to do. Any newcomers, we keep an eye on.
And who ordered you to do that?
The Council of Seekers.
And why does this Council of Seekers have interest on people entering the city?
Well, you know, when a
No,
group of
I don't.
individuals wander in town, and one's a minotaur, the other's a half ogre, a couple of elves, I think, some kender, and
Elves.
whatever that creature is that's on all four legs.
That's a centaur.
Yes, a centaur. We always kind of want to. It's an unusual companionship, if you wouldn't say.
Yeah, so you'd think we'd be greeted a little different, that we didn't come in here ravaging and destroying and causing chaos, wouldn't you?
You know, there are armies that have taken over huge swaths of land. It's.
And
how
do
do
we
we know?
look like an army?
You could be spies.
Do you think spies would be walking through the center of town?
What better way to make look like you belong than acting like you belong? Well, you
I've-
really don't belong.
I've seen war and I've been part of the military most of my life. I think I have a better understanding of this, and right now you don't seem to have an understanding at all. We were here to help Palanthus, and so far we've been met with suspicious eyes. Even though we've gone and delivered goods, we've cleared the road, and now passage can come from here to the other settlements to the south and the Claris Tower. But still, you judge us with suspicious eyes.
I didn't know you cleared the roads or done any of that. I was just following my orders from the High Seekers.
We'll take this back to your High Seekers. Me and my companions have done good, so look elsewhere, please.
Make an intimidation check. Yeah, an intimidation check at the advantage.
Hell yeah.
All right. He immediately starts to back down. He's like, very well, very well. I will not bother you again. The Seekers may send someone else after you, but for me, I will turn down any additional requests. Keep an eye on you.
Thank you.
I will let them
Pass
know.
the word.
Very well. And your name, sir?
I'm Uruz Asimar of Mythos.
Uruz? I've heard your name before.
From where?
Spoken in actually welcoming tones.
That's good.
I think the town I came through was Knight's Landing?
Have you heard anything of Knight's Landing recently?
Not since we've been cut off from the south. But last I left, they were fine.
They were well.
Yes, they were fine at the time. Sorry, I was reading some of the comments that were going on.
All right. As I said, take word back to your masters. We mean no harm. We're here for good and to help.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you for not doing what your kind do.
I reach up and I touch my horn. I nod my head and I walk away.
All right. He then takes off.
Well, that was dealt with.
So you guys go back to the Drunken Noble?
I'm heading to the library.
I think we should get some supplies for the ship.
All right. So Philip and Mary are heading towards the library. Who's going with them or who's going after supplies?
I'd be hesitant to split the group if people are watching us.
Yeah, I mean, we can go to the library because I'm pretty sure there's supplies on the way. There are too. So yeah, we can stay together.
All right. Mary and Philip, as you guys start to lead the group towards the library, you do find a couple small shops. You're able to find the supplies you need that you think you're going to need to be able to make it around. And heading down south, you get about a couple weeks worth of supplies. It's going to run you a total of, say, roughly about 25 steel. So somebody subtract that from
Perry should. He's got the money.
I got you. How much?
25 steel
Got you.
for a couple weeks worth of supplies to be able to put on the ship.
Easy peasy.
You guys put in the word where to have it delivered to the Undertow.
Just as everyone has a heads up, we currently have 257 steel in party funds. I'll just keep track of party funds.
All right, we got a party keeper. There was that other bag of 500 steel.
Yeah, I still have that. Actually, it was 1,200 iron pieces and 600 steel.
Okay.
I just haven't told them yet.
Okay. All right. As you guys head towards the library, there you see the familiar door again, Mary and Philip.
You know, Uruz can get real scary when he gets mad.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was uncomfortable. I didn't like seeing him like that.
Yeah, no, it reminded me of some bad times. Like, I got mugged out in the plains of the dust. That was, oof,
Wait,
terrible
what?
times. Anyway, so we need to drop off a book, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh?
Knock doesn't
What-
work,
are we-
so...
You didn't get like a contact card.
I just knock on the door as hard as my weak body can.
I could barely hear you what you're saying there.
Oh, I knock as hard as I can on my super weak body, so onto the door.
Okay. After a few minutes, there you see the same individual open the door. Yes. Welcome back. What can I do for you?
This book proved quite useful, and I hand him back the book on basilisks.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that I was able to help you. Were you able to find whatever you were looking for from the basilisks?
We couldn't, but we found an expert who could, but it helped us find them, so.
Okay, very well. Thank you for return.
And I found this other book while we were out.
What book is that?
It seems to be on elementals.
Oh, interesting. Are you giving it as a donation to the library?
Yes. Well, I think it belongs to the library, interestingly enough.
Where did you find said book at?
It was on the road between Yaris and the High Claris Tower.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the return of one of our volumes. He kind of looks at it. He kind of pulls it up, looks at it, sees the markings in there, and he's like, "Oh, amazing. Thank you. I'm just not quite sure. Would you like anything in return for this book?"
No. Maybe the ability to access whenever I would like to. Reinstatement
possibly.
into the library?
Well, I can take your petition in front of the board.
Okay, that would work.
All right, very well. Thank you again. Is there anything else I can help you with then?
No, that should do it. Just
All right.
didn't want to steal any books. It's a bad
well,
thing.
That's it can end up having people on your coming after you if that's the case. You know how
Yep.
we love our books here.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Well, you all have a nice night or day. What time is it? And he kind of looks up at the sun. He goes, "Oh, it's early morning. You must really get some sleep." Thank you again.
Goodbye.
All right, bye.
Take out those
With that,
books.
he closes the door back up. There you are, standing outside the Great Library, with nothing to do here in Palanthas. What are you going to do?
Did parents do that book for you?
No.
Oh,
Let's walk before we talk about it here.
okay.
What about all this armor, weapons?
The stuff you're delivering?
No, the stuff that we took from the bandits.
Oh, yeah, you can. What are you going to do with it?
That's what I'm asking the group.
I mean, armor and weapons.
It's from
We have
the
8 leather
Nordmar.
armor, 8 scimitars, 8 bows, 14 daggers.
Damn, we should have given those to the
Two-
miners.
2 vials of
We
something.
should have.
Well, then we
Put
would.
it into the war efforts.
You do have 2 unidentified vials.
All right. Well, all that armor and daggers and bows, we would have gave to the other people. So I'll just
Oh, in Yaris? Okay. Yeah, you just left those
Some
behind in Yaris.
defense. They're Nordmar, and they're going to fight the Nordmar, so I can see that getting somewhat confusing, but they needed it more than we did.
Yeah. What he said.
Now, about these 2 vials.
Well, we could.
Should I just
drink
pour them out?
We could drink them. I mean, they look. What do they look like?
Vials.
One is full of like a murky red liquid with like almost like silver type stuff in it. The other one's blue with just it's a solid blue concoction inside. Both of them look a little thick.
I pull out the bad healing potion that I have and compare colors to the other two. Do either of them look like the bad healing potion?
The red one looks similar to the bad healing potion.
Well, the red one looks as bad as my spicy healing potion. So that might be a good healing potion, or it might be a bad one. Who wants to take a sip?
I dip my pinky in
I'll
it and
smell
taste it.
All right, as you dip it in, you get a little bit of like vigor backing your step there, and it's just a standard healing potion.
It's just a regular healing potion.
Yep, just a regular healing potion.
I thought I've seen before. Maybe if you dip your finger in the other one and take a taste, you can figure something out about it.
Mary,
I'll
drink
do
the
it.
other one.
Hmm?
Dip the
All
other
right. As you
Yeah.
dip your finger in it there, Garrett, you taste it. As it kind of, sinks in on your tongue, you almost feel like the skin, like the hair on your skin, start to raise up. It's a potion of lightning resistance.
I feel like electricity would do nothing to me.
Yeah, so it basically gives you resistance to not immunity, but resistance to lightning damage, and it lasts for a total of 10 rounds.
You know what electricity feels like? Yeah, I guess we would.
Lightning.
Ish. Lightning.
I think some of you would know that feeling quite well.
I mean, no, some of us wouldn't know that feeling quite well because it killed us. The people who survived probably remember what it felt like.
Yeah.
The people who died probably don't. Well, yeah, we can just go have a drink, I guess. I don't. Did anyone have any drinking stories? Something to
Probably
tell
more
over.
than I should be sharing.
Like, stories of glory.
Do we want to
days
drink?
past.
Let's go drink.
I love drinking.
Drink's fun.
Quickly, just before we get to the drinking, just wondering if there might be something in this town, perhaps something better than this legionary chain armor. I seem to be up there in the front with Garrett, and ever since that giant smacked me real hard, I don't know, perhaps thicker armor.
I don't think I don't think an armor smith is needed to tell you that. I don't think better armor would help that the giant's weapons from pummeling you into dirt. But yeah, we can look at the armor. I'm sure there's armor.
Just nothing fancy. I'm just perhaps a breastplate or something. I don't want to exhaust all of our funds.
Maybe something for your horn, like.
No, I'm not going to cover my horns.
I mean, no, like the crack, like little leather band.
No, the horn's been tended. It just needs time.
Like a little leather band on it, like a band-aid, like a wrapping.
Don't touch my horns.
I wasn't planning on it. Ever. Hopefully.
We could always visit the armor shop.
Yeah, just as we're passing through town, if there's any blacksmith or something, I just want to see the price of like plate armor or half plate or.
Let me.
Like, what's better than chain?
Is there any magical shops?
Give me an investigation check for me, please, Garrett.
Yeah, I'm looking for splint or plate.
As you kind of look around, Garrett, as you kind of asking around, the only place that people would consider magical items per se, like wondrous, is Tizik's Wondrous Emporium. That's where. Otherwise, everything else is just standard, iron or steel armament.
Tizik's is the only place that might have something better than normal. But we can always check out the normal places also.
I just want normal. I don't think we have the funds for anything magical of protection. But let's carry on. Don't let my inquiry bog us down.
All right. So as you guys look around, you do find a large city. All right. So you do find a shop. It's just a standard shop. It looks like it has pretty much a little bit of everything. Uruz, as you kind of glance around, you're asking for anything that might fit you. The gentleman behind the counter, he kind of looks at you. He goes, I don't have anything, and I don't know if I could make anything, and it'd take me probably weeks to build you something.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, all right.
But your other compatriots, except the big fellow there, the young lady that's half deer, it looks like. They're the only ones I probably wouldn't be able to outfit. Everyone else, yeah, we got different
don't have
types
horse
of
armor?
armament, whatever is needed.
Do you have?
Horse
Go
armor?
ahead.
I don't know if Cole would take kindly to tack and barding.
Well, you don't need
What?
the tack. You just need the barding part. You just take the saddle.
Sorry, Cole. Speaking of you, Mary here wants to put horse armor on you.
If she wants armor, we just have to put part horse armor and part like regular armor, breast armor.
I
What do you call that? What do you call that, Uruz?
You know she automatically doesn't like metal, so it would have to be leather.
Yeah, metal's just a little uncomfortable for me. So,
She says with a metal bird on her shoulder.
yeah, that's
I'm
And he
not
calls us
gonna.
the Steel Group.
I don't want to comment on the fact that like that limits us down to like leather, and the only thing that's really gonna like cover super well would be like horse leather or
So
deer hide, which
looking
gets
at
into a real
I
her,
hard
mean-
place.
her bottom half's already leather. I don't know how much more leather.
It's hide. It's not leather. Leather's tanned and stuff.
Well,
so
soon.
yeah, so to be able to outfit her, you would be looking at some type of leather barding that would normally go on a horse, and then a leather chest piece or like a normal
Someone
leather
just put a
piece of
saddle
armor.
back there. Go for
So
it.
that's kind of what it would do to fully armor her out in a leather armor.
Oh god, deck her out and fucking tack and barding, and there you go.
I don't hear
I
this
mean, I've
stuff.
gotten away with leather. It's a no one needs metal. Fuck that.
How much, or would you be able to reinforce this armor any?
Which armor are you talking?
My plate armor.
Kind of looks over. He goes, "I see you've got some dents and bruises. Some dents and scratches. I could fix those by morning."
I'd appreciate that.
All right.
And any other reinforcement you can do to it.
That'd be 25 steel, and it'll be
Okay.
done by morning. All right. So you leave your armor behind.
Yeah.
From the fix. Okay. You take your armor off, placing it there in front of him. He immediately takes it, slips off the counter, takes it in the back. He goes, just come back in the morning, and it should be ready.
I want to ask him really quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show him like the leather armor I'm wearing and say, if I wanted to like attach a bunch of like teeth and claws to make this little spiky, do you think how many do you think it would take?
Like, are you looking for like simulating a studded leather, but with like teeth and bone?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he kind of starts thinking. He goes, it would take quite a bit. What do you have in mind?
I'm gonna show him like the necklace I have, or well, it's my belt. I forget it's not my necklace.
Yeah.
And say, well, I've gathered a lot along my travels, and I'm gonna keep gathering, and I just need a goal. I need to know how many.
Well, there's a good start. I could have what you have there mounted on the shoulders for almost like a tooth and bone type pauldrons across the shoulder. Be quite the interesting look.
I'm gonna immediately take my leather armor and my belt off and say, how much? Like, what else do I need to give you?
For this, we'd be looking probably another 7 steel for me to accomplish this.
I'm gonna hand him 7 steel.
All right. He goes, very well. Again, I'll put my people to work on this immediately. Should be done by morning.
I appreciate your good work, sir.
Do you happen to have a spare plate of plate mail? Or plate
Alas,
armor?
no, I do not.
Okay.
We
I
don't
just
have very
felt
many
naked.
orders. Yeah, I understand, but we don't have very many orders of plate armor that come through here. Silence.
I don't know what else to say.
I'm looking for things that would be in a shop.
Like what type of shop?
What armors do you sell? Like leather. I'm looking for some new armor.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, yes, I do have some leather, just plain leather armor. I do have some studded leather. I have a leather breastplate. Not quite as good as a normal breastplate, but it still adds a little additional protection from standard leather. And that's currently what we have. Oh, and I do have some hide. We've made some very thick and sturdy hide armor that's made from multiple different hides of multiple creatures.
Tell me about that studded leather, though.
Studded leather. Kind of starts looking around. He goes, yes, let me pull it up real quick.
We should have saved some of that basilisk leather.
So he pulls out a set of a studded leather armor, sets it on the counter, and goes, for this would be probably about 65 steel pieces for this studded leather.
Okay. I'm always a man who searches for the highest quality of equipment. Tell me, did you make this equipment here in your facility?
Oh yes, I have a total of 3 blacksmiths and 2 leather workers that work underneath me that I currently employ. One of the leathersmiths is considered a master at his craft. As you can see here, and he starts pointing out the intricacies. He goes, and you see here the double stitching along the seams here to keep a good, nice, sturdy, bond between the padding underneath and the leather itself. These individuals' armor, we've never had an unsatisfied customer yet to this point.
I'm staring at him. Is he like giving us the true facts, or is he bullshitting us?
Give me an insight check. As he seems very confident in what he's saying. It looks like he's said it many times before as people have asked about the things. As far as you can tell, there's no signs of uneasiness or fidgetiness that he might be being deceptive.
Philip, do you want this?
Give me a second. I'm working. Tell me. I'm a man who is a part of a party that has strange taste. What did this leather come from?
This leather here, it came from the finest oxen, from the plains, out by Ash.
Oh, I see. So, you have a local butcher here that handles the trading of meat, or are they wildly hunted, or?
Oh no! The village of Ash is known for their large herds of of animals that they bring in occasionally for trade. They bring the hide already in tanned and dyed accordingly, and then we take this fine leather and craft it into the sets of armor that you see here.
I see. Very well made, very well made. Tell me, I understand that
Philip,
this
are you
equipment,
buying it or not?
that this equipment is extremely high quality and looks very tough. But unfortunately, my coffer becomes emptier by the day that I travel alongside the jobs, with the war going on.
I
My
take out
family
55
back
or
home,
65 steel and put it on the table and
and
say, just take it and let's go.
I would say 50 steel pieces would be a fair price.
Well, as your friend already gave me the 65, I think the deal is done and sealed. And so
Yeah,
here's your armor,
I-
and thank you for your business. And he takes
I
the
w- I
steel and
would
slides it off
agree.
in his pocket.
I would agree. That's fine too, I guess.
Good haggling there, Philip.
Yeah, it goes well.
Did you pay more than you needed to for that?
Yeah, we paid more than we needed to for that.
Like how much more?
I probably could have gotten them down to like 40 something maybe.
But I meant like, if I were to go in there and I just asked for armor and I bought it and walked out, would it cost less?
Maybe.
Gotta remember, we're also paying for his trust, his work, so he can be done in the morning.
Are we paying for that?
It's a nice little tip that we gave him.
Okay, why did I just hear a car horn coming from the Meebot?
Really?
Neverwinter's got some high quality streets, man.
I guess so. I swear I just heard a car horn.
No, I think that was a little Jade typing and her voice cutting in and out.
Maybe
yeah, that's
it
probably
might have been
definitely
somebody.
what it was.
It may have been somebody outside my. I've got my window open here too, so it might have been something outside.
All right. Well, thanks for the armor.
Welcome. Anytime you need anything else, like I said, your repairs and patching will be done by morning. He kind of looks over at you, Uruz, and he goes, "Sir, your armor seems a little worse for wear. I can do those repairs also. No additional charge, mind you, but I could take care of that for you also."
Well, I guess we'll be back in the morning, yeah.
All right, very well. He takes your armor.
Is there an inn nearby, y'all?
Nearby here, the closest one is, you guys now do realize you're not that far from the Drunken Noble. There's the Drunken Noble down the corner, and then there is the Swallowed Anchor, which is the Swollen Anchor, which is down a little bit further, more towards the docks. Those are probably the two nearest ones.
All right, thank you. I head out the door toward the drunken sailor.
Okay. The Drunken Noble, you mean?
Yes.
All right. As you, is everybody else following, or is he just going along?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's-
we're going.
All right.
Going.
As you
Swear.
guys follow
Philip.
him towards the Drunken Noble, I don't think you guys stayed at the Swollen Anchor last time. The Drunken Noble is where Philip played for a little bit extra cash.
No, Philip got us a room there.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, we were drinking at the Swallowed Anchor, Swollen Anchor, whatever.
Oh, that's right. That's right. As you walk up, the innkeep immediately recognizes you. Oh, yes. What can I do for you again today?
Philip,
Meals and
You did the
lodging.
talking last time, Phil.
Okay. Well, how about this? I'll go up there, start warming them up, and then you guys just throw 100 steel on the table and go, "Okay, we're good."
Philip, just go talk to him.
I'm bitter. Hi, how are you, sir?
Is she, as Core yells out alcohol in copious amounts of it, she goes, yes, definitely. Slaps his hands a couple times, and a couple of serving individuals come out, start bringing out a couple pitchers of wine, a couple of oh yes, small one, and I'll bring a tea for you also. multiple drinks, a couple pitchers of. There's a pitcher of wine, a couple pitchers of ale, and a teapot full of hot water with a nice blend of herbs that are sitting there in front of you on the table as you guys are all standing. He kind of looks at you, Court, and he goes, and how do you expect to pay for this?
Well,
Core.
good sir.
You see,
kind of-
our friend Philip here.
Oh yes, the one who played last time I was here.
Core, let Philip handle this. He's kind of angry about the last transaction.
Need a really good deal to make up for it, Philip.
Unless you have a better plan, Core.
Cora kind of points at Vixen's hand that's kind of nudging her, and you can kind of see like a little glint of the steel underneath it, and she kind of just goes, "I guess that."
Oh yes. He kind of holds his hand down towards you there, Vixen.
I'm gonna jerk my hand away from him and I'm gonna give it to Vixen. Or I mean to give it to Core.
Core, she quickly puts the money into your hand.
She kind of opens her palm, stares at it, looks at him like, "What do?" Like she's like,
He
you want
reaches down and he picks 5 steel off it and he goes, that's what's necessary. Would you like to leave anything behind for a tip?
"What's a tip?"
I think it's when people are nice.
Is he nice?
I
Kind of
think he's
looks over.
helping us.
They look over at you. The gentleman looks over to you there, Philip, and he goes, does these people don't understand things?
Well, I was going to explain it. These two have come from very far away. We have been on a long journey, and we have come for rest and respite, sir.
It seems like their social graces may not be fit for this establishment.
I'm fairly certain the dear lady came from the woods. I don't know if she's ever been in a tavern before in her entire life.
Okay.
So I will give you. Here's. Oh God, where's my steel? I'll give the man 3 platinum coins and say, if you'll just keep the drinks coming until this group stops drinking.
Very well. Thank you, sir. And he kind of nods to you. He goes, we will make sure they are on an endless supply or until the money runs out, whichever is first. You
Of
pass out
course.
or the money runs out.
Thank you.
We'll be expecting you to stay with us tonight.
Yes, we will need a variety of rooms. I do not know if you have the lodgings for
Would
a
you-
minotaur and a ogre.
Are you
Half
plan
ogre?
on leasing? You plan on renting the bed or the whole room?
How big's your whole room?
Well, there's 4 beds in the room, and 3 people per bed.
Yeah, we'll take the whole
3
room.
people per bed. What
So-
the fuck?
Actually, I found out something interesting. Did you know in medieval times that when you would rent a room, you actually wouldn't be renting a room in inns. You were actually renting a space in a bed. So it was not uncommon for individuals to be sleeping in the same bed as complete strangers.
So almost
Nice.
like a hostel.
It's
There's a lot of
exactly
fucking
what it is.
medieval
They
shagging
also
going
made
on.
areas where people stood and they just like put their arms on a rope, and that's how they
And-
slept for the night.
Yeah, and so the funniest thing is where the term hospital come from. History lesson for the day, by the way, guys. The term hospital originally associated with was individuals who couldn't afford to stay at an inn where they would rent a bed or a slot within a bed. They would then go to the hospital, which was a place that would be hospitable to individuals who could not afford to stay there, or they couldn't afford to find somebody who would of the same stature of them within town. And so they'd go to the hospital and they would stay in the hospital for little or no money. And But because most people would be turned away and they couldn't afford if they were sick, it had caused the individuals who were sick to eventually congregate to these hospitals. And that's how the term hospital was created. And the more individuals that were sick that would go there would draw the healers to those locations. And that's where the doctors were actually, that's how the association between a doctor and a hospital came about. History lessons.
Very
with old man.
insightful, barkeeper. Yeah. We'd like the whole room, please.
Very well. Let's see. So that's a total of 6 spaces. So we would be looking at. Well,
It's only 6 months.
the cash you got, we'll include it in the price.
Wonderful. Thank you, kind sir.
Very well.
And whatever does not go to the booze, please keep for yourself.
Oh, thank you. I've been very gracious of you.
Respect
I
of us.
surely do appreciate it.
I'm very poor now. Well,
Maybe you can play some.
I certainly could in my new studded leather armor.
All right. Are you gonna get up there and play?
Yep. 'Cause
Go
God,
ahead.
I'm broke.
I'm
Give
going to
me
assist
a-
him again with prestidigitation and minor illusion stuff when he tells stories and stuff.
All right. Go ahead and give me a performance check. The advantage. All right. As you play through the night,
Crit.
and into the through the day and into the late evening, as you play along with the help of Mary, you drag individuals in and out through the day, making a hefty little sum for yourself. You actually make a total of 15 steel and 4 platinum, and as people of higher standing come in and watch you perform for a while, flick stuff up onto the stage, then leave. Some look to be possibly staying the night with you, into, and maybe in some of the other rooms. But yeah, you do make a fairly decent little amount of cash.
Good times. I'm rich.
I'm rich.
Dig deeper. Dig greedily.
All right. So, as the night starts to draw to a close,
I'd like to
guys-
read my book, the
right.
Vamp spell book.
Okay, as you start to study your book, as you go up to your room, you retire a little earlier than everybody else and start studying your book. As the night draws to a nigh, you guys all pack up, head up into the room. There's your all.
Before we head into the room, Zuruz gathers the group and he takes whatever drink he had on the table and he looks at each one and he goes, "To those behind us, those beside us, and those in front of us, for those behind us will always have our protection and be watching our backs. For those beside us who stand in the way of danger and threat, and those in front of us, for they shall meet a fury and might that has not been matched in an age. Here's to you, my comrades, and to all around us."
Yeah.
And he takes a big old swig.
All right.
Good man.
Did anybody else want to say anything before you turn in for the night?
Philip, you can use that one later.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, but when we get to our room, I'm gonna tell a fast bedtime story.
All right.
I don't know all the words because I don't remember all of the details, but it's our banishment adventures from last campaign. But
Oh.
it's like super vague. So it's like me reading from an old journal of like bedtime stories I would write down for Hotak, and it's just like this group of adventures from this little tiny creature that in this story is called a halfling, and they fought a bunch of things. And they come up against this big giant scary turtle. Like that's all she calls is a big giant scary turtle with spikes, and all this stuff, and how eventually they just had to banish it and send it back home, and they all survived.
Give me a performance check. All right, you kind of convey the generalist of the story and how everything went down fairly decently, leaving out little bits and pieces here, but everybody kind of gets a good idea of what the general story was, and they like kind of like clapping and nodding with the story.
It was good, Vixen. It was good.
Philip
Mary.
asked for a story earlier.
Mary, you already have that spell book, don't you, with all the spells
Yeah.
that are in it?
But there are no spells in it.
Oh, it didn't create the spells?
No.
Oh, well, damn it. That means I'm going to have to redo it. That's
Yeah, it
easy
just
enough
says
for me to do.
vamp spellbook in back.
Yeah, let me, because when I did, that was after we started having the technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Let me redo that again real quick. I'll get it for you. Where are you?
I have a spellbook, the ability to put in spells, a minute per spell level, and 2 druids that don't understand what money is.
I mean, that's just how it goes.
It'll only take a second for me to create that for you. Where's this at? Alright. There it is. Spellbook. Why is that not allowing me to create the spellbook from this guy's character sheet again? All right. I will get you that list. For some reason, it's not allowing me to. It used to. I think I had to uninstall because it had some issues, but I'll see if they've got the latest update to it, and then I'll redo that because I don't think. Let me check that mod, see if I've got that module available. Spellbook. Spell template manager. Yeah, I don't have it right now. I'll get that reinstalled. So I know they've updated a lot of them, so I'll get that done and then exported. With that, are you guys okay with me quitting for the night? I know it's a little bit earlier than normal, but we're actually in a good pausing location because if we continue on, it won't be. We'd end up going for quite a while longer. Is that all right with everybody?
Trying to say there's gonna be an encounter. The city's under attack, boys. Next campaign.
No,
All right, cool.
where this ends us, a perfect spot for tavern chat.
Tavern chat.
Yes, you and your
Chat.
tavern
I'm gonna
chat.
actually
Wow.
tavern chat. Yes.
There's
All
gonna
right.
be a whole novel.
So the
Yeah,
real
started
question is,
2 hours early.
Yes, I
2
will
people
make sure
don't
to
have
start
a
it
place
early.
to sleep tonight.
All right, I'm gonna sign off from my stream, guys. I'll be right
Hector,
back.
Don't forget.
Hey guys.
Hector, you
That's
gotta
all,
remember-
folks.